Did you know that 60% of NBA players go broke within 5 years of retirement? Holy freaking Moses, that's insane! Of course, they spend it all on reckless partying and depreciating assets. That definitely plays a big part, but actually many athletes lose tons of money trying to get right in the business world. These are the biggest financial fails in the NBA. In 1999, good old O'Neal made some good investments in Google that turned into absolute killings, but of course this got to his head, so Big Shaq started to think he was an investment genius and decided to make more investment decisions by himself. That's a big mistake. One day, Shaq was approached in his office by a man who claimed to own a paper company, and no, it was not Dunder Mifflin. He launched right into his pitch, and let me tell you, this guy was selling Shaq on the paper business like he worked at Dunder Mifflin. The man convinced Shaq that he had already had tons of contracts with the government and school set up and to buy the paper and easily move the product, and the deals were already in place, and all he needed was a couple of millions of funding for distribution to make it all happen. But at the end of it all, everything turned out to be a scam, and the con man disappeared with all of Shaq's money, never to be heard from again. That's rough. But that was actually not his first rodeo with the ne'er-do-wells of the business world. O'Neal admitted that when he was young, he invested in a lot of businesses that turned out to be scams. He said, "When I came into the business industry, I lost a lot of money in the get-rich-quick schemes." He also said that from the age of 19 to 26, anybody could come to my office, tell me the deal, and I would take it right away. No research, no due diligence. However, after having learned from his past mistakes, the four-time NBA champion said he started listening to people and working with people who were smarter than him. And this strategy of working with more experienced partners and advisors has served Shaq very well, taking him from getting regularly scammed by common criminals to running a $500 million business empire. Now that's a way to move the needle. Now, we all remember the cryptocurrency frenzy and how everyone and their dogs, or should I say their doges, were trying to get in on it. So let's go to January 2022. Crypto had been going crazy throughout 2021, and after Bitcoin hit an all-new-time high at the end of the year, the hype was getting crazy. Crypto had so much hype around it that Klay Thompson agreed to take a portion of his NBA salary in Bitcoin. My dude was shilling the cryptocurrency hard and was so excited about his gains that he donated $1 million in BTC. In the crypto world, W's can turn to L's real quick. And when Terra Luna, Celsius, and FTX all went to zero in 2022, it caused a huge crash, and Klay's net worth crashed with him. My dude went from being so crypto rich, that he was literally giving it away to losing over 20 million in crypto. Woo! Yikes. To give you some context, he makes $37 million a year from his playing contract, so he lost more than half of his earnings for the year in an instant. Woo! Guess somebody's gonna be eating ramen noodles for the rest of 2022. Gosh, I hope he's recovered by now. And you know how dudes are, they always have to be cooking up schemes in their heads. So you know he was all up in the Warriors locker room telling his teammates to get in on the next big thing of crypto, and one teammate, Andre Iguodala, even lost $1.3 million. This same cryptocurrency saga hit so many NBA players that even Michael Jordan lost over $10 million during the same crash. You wanna trigger a dude in the NBA? Start talking about crypto. However, crypto wasn't always the only way to wreck your bank account as an NBA star. The former Boston Celtics player made over $100 million throughout his career, but due to his poor decision-making on and off the court, he ended up losing all of it and filing for bankruptcy in 2010. Holy smokes. Hold on. How does a 9-figure dude end up bankrupt? Well, in Walker's case, it was an investment he made in real estate, and I have to say it was quite a large one. Dude went ahead and splashed millions into restaurants and even a record label, which is kind of interesting because when you look at it, he's poured into industries with less than a 5% success rate. Those are not the best ones to, make up the most of your portfolio investment. Who knew? Believe it or not, they all turned out to be bad investments and led him to bankruptcy. Can't say he didn't try, but he made bad choices. Already I can hear Shaq's voice echoing in my head. Research, due diligence. Moving on, we have Scotty Pippen, an NBA legend who secured 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls alongside Michael Jordan. Despite being one hell of a baller on the court, Pippen fell victim to a financial advisor's fraud, and that advisor embezzled over $20 million from Pippen. Youch! It's one thing to waste your money on frivolities, but it's another thing to get scammed by the person you hired to manage your money. That's rough, man. Anyways, the betrayal placed Pippen in a precarious financial position, and he was nowhere near as paid as Jordan during his career in contract earnings or in endorsements. I mean, because come on, we're talking about Michael Jordan. Things got so tight for him and his family that he almost had to sell his lavish estate in Illinois to move to a smaller, lavish estate in Illinois. Oh my gosh, he clearly had poor man problems. Give the man some champagne. Oh, the problems my man must have had to suffer. He was able to reclaim a nice chunk of cash in a lengthy legal battle, so it really wasn't all bad. Of course, it's definitely not as bad as having your ex-wife marry your arch nemesis 20-year-old son, because good thing that didn't happen to Pippen. Oh, wait. Yeah, that did happen. Whoops. So, moving on to Allen Iverson. I know this is one y'all were waiting for. Sure, this dude was one of the most recognizable faces in NBA during the 2000s. He twice led the league in scoring and earned MVP honors in 2001 and was a 9-time All-Star. But even though Allen amassed an estimated $154 million in career earnings over the best years of his career, he was always either broke or in debt. You heard that right. How does a man do that? I don't know. But things got so bad that in 2012, his checking account was garnished after he failed to pay back $662,540 in debt and interest that he owed to a jeweler. Ooh, that's rough. People who knew Iverson would later reveal that he invested in the absolute dumbest of things, like a personal hairstylist who went to games with him and on jewelry he eventually could not pay for. One time he even went so far as to buy a new car. Of course, NBA players do that all the time, that's not new, but not for the reason Iverson did. He bought the car because he couldn't find his in a parking lot. Wow. If I was that rich, the Walmart in my hometown would be filled with 10-year-old Honda Civics. Obviously, Iverson ignored investment advice and at one point had $4.5 million in debt. And if that weren't enough, Allen had girl problems that made him even more broke. He had to forfeit the majority of his NBA earnings during divorce proceedings with his ex-wife. Dang, that sucks. All right, next up we have Latrell Sprewell. Although the details are a little sketchy about this guy who earned over $100 million during his time in the NBA, we know for sure that Sprewell was in the news a few years after his retirement for all the wrong reasons. Eventually it came out that he was struggling to make payments on his yacht and multiple homes. Sprewell failed to make wise investments and his financial decisions were super dumb and he became bankrupt. If you look up the word short-sighted in the dictionary, you will find a picture of Latrell Sprewell's picture right there. I know it's a low blow to a man on the ground, but think about it this way. Latrell legit declined a $21 million deal because he said it wouldn't provide for his family's needs. And then in 2007, somehow he lost his Milwaukee's best handcrafted Italian boat that cost him $1.5 million. Let me say it again, $1.5 million. How do you lose a $1.5 million boat? Well, it turns out that the US Marshal legally took possession of the boat on behalf of a bank because Sprewell was behind on his mortgage. And to top off his woes, in May of 2008, his $5.4 million home went into foreclosure. The dude hit rock bottom. The last NBA player that makes our list is one who had just a little more money than sense, Gerald Wallace. The former Charlotte Bobcat who was known as Crash in the league and was known for playing with reckless abandon on the court, pounding rebounds and diving for loose balls with no regard for his or anyone else's safety. And you know what they say, a zebra can't change its stripes. And it seemed like he applied the same wildness to his business exploits. Now, this wasn't a situation of Wallace draining his money on a strip club, cars, or jewelry. The guy was trying to grow his money and make it flip by becoming a business mogul. He made a ton of investments in multiple fishing lodges, a car wash, even running a shoe store, but man, all those concussions he suffered have caught up to him because no matter what he started, it went to zero and totally flopped. Over and over again, Wallace's businesses went bankrupt, which caused him to get more and more reckless and crazy with his investments. Crash reached his peak when one day he said, "F a blind date, I'm a blind bankroll by purchasing a handful of completely random buildings somewhere in Alabama," and believe me, my dude was confident that the value was going to 10 times and this was the play of the lifetime, and he's stupid, and he closed on the properties without any financial advice. Dude may have been the worst entrepreneur ever. He did not get any returns on his investments and ultimately was forced to file for bankruptcy. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.